Hello everyone, it's Don again, Captain Crossstitch here, coming to you August 3rd, it's Saturday. Just want to get in a video for this month before all kinds of good stuff starts up. The Grace Notes Fabrics Retreat number 2 begins this coming Thursday, so I'm excited, super excited about attending that for my second time, and this will be their second time hosting it, so should be good. But we'll talk more about that a little bit later in my video. So coming to you today with my Optimus Prime t-shirt in the style of graffiti art. I thought it was pretty cool. Not that I'm a huge Transformers nut or anything like that. I was just old enough for that to not really be a thing when I was a kid, so you know, I missed out on some fun, I'm sure, but you know, I do like the idea of it. So, and it was a cool t-shirt. So anyway, it's the year of the dragon, and I've got my dragon calendar. You can see this month's offering for August. Pretty cool. Let's see if they give any artist information, but it's pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so let's jump right in. I got a lot to cover today, so I don't want this video to be any longer than it has to. My last one was my longest one yet, and I hadn't planned that to happen. So anyway, okay, so as always, we're going to start off with the Stitcher's Almanac for 2024. I actually had a pretty busy month considering all the stuff that was going on in my life and the world at large. So this was July. I didn't really do too much craziness with the stickers this time. I got a feather and some kind of bug. I don't know if it's a ladybug, a bee, and some woman with a flower outfit, and my I don't know if that's supposed to be a peacock or not. I don't know. And then some kind of celestial map of the solar system. I'm into that kind of stuff. So anyway, so the month was actually, I did actually do quite a bit of stitching, considering there was a week where I didn't really do much of any, but I did a lot otherwise. I had my 2 different stitching groups on the 6th and the 20th, and we had the and then of course right in the middle of the month we had the, not to bring things down a bit, but we had the attempted assassination of our former president, and then of course the week to follow that craziness was the Republican National Convention. So I never used to be big into politics until really, I guess, I was into my 30s before I really started to pay attention to it more. So I'm really excited about this. Well, to me, it's the most important election I'm ever to be observing. So I'm not here to preach one side over the other. I'm just saying it's important that you participate if you are eligible. So if that means get out and register to vote, or just get out and vote if you are registered, doesn't matter how you're registered, just get out and perform your civic duty. I do feel it is a duty for you to participate, because otherwise, how can you be heard as a citizen and of the greatest country that's ever existed? So anyway, that's enough. I'm not going to preach on that. Anyway, so otherwise, did a lot of stitching. I feel for me it was a lot. So guess we'll get right into the whips that I worked on for the month, and I worked on quite a few. There's only one that I had hoped to get to that I didn't get to. So, but so in no particular order. Let's see, what is so the first one that I worked on was the well, it wasn't the first one I worked on, but the first one I'm going to show you. Is Royal Peacock, Dimensions Gold Collection kit, and I am using all the materials that came with the kit. I'm still kind of a novice when it comes to making changes of my own. In hindsight, I kind of wish I had changed out the fabric, because most of these kits, it comes with the plain white Ada, which is extremely stiff. The good thing is, I am using the kit fabric, but the good thing is I'm using a needle that's big enough that you can feel it, and maybe even sometimes hear when you pull the needle through. It's tight, so when I pull the needle through, it's kind of like expanding the hole just a tiny bit, enough so that it's not scraping the threads so much every time you pull it through, which can fray the floss. I've never had an issue with that, so but I hear that's a thing, so I just figured I'd bring that up. But anyway, here's where I stand. It doesn't look like I made a whole lot of progress, but between this dark blue that's in the center and then there's like a lighter blue out here, I'm filling in this space right now with it's a blended thread, so it's two different colors together, and so that'll go on up, and then there's some more stuff up here in the head, and then a little tuft or whatever that comes off of it I have to do up here, and then it's just more filling in behind that neck and part of the head. So I'm getting fairly close to finishing on this side of the chart. You can see there's a definite line that I followed, so I'm doing the top half of the chart, and there's a lot of stuff around. Some lighter half stitches to give it kind of a depth of field effect, and it's a beautiful design that's behind it. So I'm excited to get to that, but I want to finish the actual bird itself, and then I can do, like, there's flowers and some dragonflies or something, and there's a really cool design that kind of is centered around its head, which looks really cool. So you'll see that as time goes on. Alright, so the next one I'm going to show you. So I worked some more on my Filipina start that I had last month, or the month before in this case, Bellatrix. And this is my first time stitching one of his designs. It's AJ Perilla. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. But it's a decent sized design. I guess maybe it's on par with some Mirabilia stuff, you know. But so I know it doesn't look like much right now, but that's the lower part of her dress. I've only used 2 colors so far, but that's my start. And I'm doing that on a 14 count cobblestone fabric from, I'm gonna forget who the fabric's by. Hold on a second. Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers was the cloth, the fabric designer. So there's that. All right, and the next one I'm going to show you. This was the random project that I rolled for last month. This is the Palestinian textile tile stitch. To me, this is a medium-sized project, I guess. But so I did all of this and some of this outline, this black outline, since the last time I touched it. And this was actually one that I started at last year's Grace Notes retreat, so I'm kind of happy to at least have touched it one more time before my first anniversary going to the retreat. So, but yeah, this is easy. It's a lot of fun. It'll look really cool when it's all said and done. And like I said, it's not very big. You know, it's maybe like a 12 by 12 fabric size. So this is the top of the design right here. This top part. So that's the top edge. The center is somewhere around here, I think. So yeah, and it's opalescent. This is a Charles Craft opalescent fabric, 14 count. I'm not sure what the exact color is or whatever, but I think I bought that at Michael's or Joann's, one of the two, so it's easy to find. Okay, so my next one I'm going to show you is my Joan Elliott Crescent Moon Dragon. This is my kind of my pride and joy project right now. Oh, and I finally got a decent dragon needle minder that I just got this past week. This is from Caterpillar Crossstitch, although I picked this one up off of Amazon, but the original maker is Caterpillar. If you are not familiar with Caterpillar, they're a cross-stitch company, and they do needle minders and things, and different kits and things. They're based out of England. Their needle minders are the best quality of any needle minders. I own like more than a half a dozen of them, and I really need to buy more of them, but they're not, well, I guess they're not terribly hard to get, especially if you can find them on Amazon or whatever, but yeah, they're well made. The magnets are mad strong. I mean, super strong, which is great, because I had another needle miner of a dragon that I liked the design much better of the dragon, but the magnet was garbage. I mean, I got that off of Etsy, so, and I'm not able to figure out how to put a better magnet on it just yet. So maybe I will, maybe I won't. But in the meantime, I went ahead and bought one of theirs, which is really good. So I'm making steady progress. Let's see. Yeah, that's the right side up. So you can kind of see, so the green of the body, I've filled in quite a bit of that. Now I'm starting to work my way up the neck on filling in that. And then you still got the big wing here, which that'll probably be the next thing I start working on once I, finish up some of the other stuff on the body and the neck. But that's on Grace Notes fabric, 14 count Barbara, I believe. I'll be taking this to retreat with me, and because I've already been told by some people that they want to see it, so I'm going to take it and work on it, and yeah, should be good. And in case you wanted to see what the finished product looks like, that's what the end result will hopefully be. So you can see I was filling in all this here, and now I'm working my way up the neck, and then I want to try and finish all this body, including the head, before I start branching out into the wings, and then the crescent moon that it's sitting on, and then the under part of the body and whatnot. Because there's a lot of beading, there's a lot of Krynic, and I've never done Krynic before, so I'm a little wary of that when the time comes. Oh, come on. And that's stored in my trusty dragon project bag, and I bought my own dragon zipper pull to put on it. And then there's the back, and I got that off of Etsy. I can't remember the maker. Maybe it'll come to me. I did work on this next one, even though I have included it on my random whip die roll for the month, just because it's I do want to keep working on it, but I don't I don't want to say I've lost interest in it, but I've kind of cooled my jets a little bit on it. But this is the Key to My Heart pattern from Tempting Tangles Designs. Let's see. So I'm about 60 to 70% complete, somewhere in there. I'm almost done the third quarter, and then all that's left is that bottom right corner, and that's done on 14 count Grace Notes strawberry latte fabric, which is beautiful. It's just such a great shade. It just reminds you of, I'm not a coffee drinker. I would have called it strawberry milkshake. But yeah, so this may get I don't know if this will get finished this year. I'd have to get, or maybe I'll get it close to finishing, and then I'll save it to finish for February of next year for Valentine's Day, which is when I started it this year. So we'll see how it goes. Like I said, this is on my random whip selector for when I roll the die to see what one additional project I'm going to work on for the month. So it may get worked on again, who knows. Then one of the other ones, so this one was my new start for July. This is a design from Silver Creek Samplers. Called Founding Promises. So I wanted to do a patriotic start for July. So it's a simple design. It shouldn't take too long to finish it, but depends on, if I feel like keeping it in the rotation, which I may. I think I waited so long in anticipation of doing a patriotic one. I may want to, have the gung-ho to keep working on it. So, and this is what I got done on it so far. So, part of the word freedom. And I'm doing this on Grace Notes 14 count snickerdoodle. So, and that'll be going to retreat with me as well. And this is in my one of my project bags that I got at retreat last year. It's my patriotic project bag from Black Cat X Stitchery. So this is currently housing my patriotic stitch. And then, oh yeah, okay. And then I started off the month working on my big sampler that I had started a couple months ago. the Symphony of Friendship sampler from Cottage Garden Samplers. So that's what it looks like when it's done. And I started up here in the upper left corner. And so you can see I got part of the alphabet done and getting some of the leaves started. And trying to remember, this is being done, stitched on Grace Notes fabric, 14 count almond milk, I think is what it's called. Yeah, I think that's what it is. So again, you know, it's a nice neutral. You know, it's got some light modeling. It's a really beautiful fabric, and it's perfect for this sampler. So when I get into the heart of the design with all the birds and the tree, it's going to look really fabulous when it's done. All right, so those are all the whips that I worked on. So that was a pretty big month for me. I stitched on a lot of stuff. There was one more that I was hoping to get some progress on, but I just never managed to get to it. That was the Rosewood Manor Hunter and Gatherer project that I've spotlighted a few times in past videos, but I didn't quite get to that this month. So I blame that on my spending a lot of time watching the RNC broadcast during that week after the assassination attempt on former President Trump. So I was a little wound up from that. That really bothered me a lot. And it would have bothered me if it had been any president, I think, you know. So, but this especially really upset me quite a bit. So you know. But anyway, I'm not going to dwell on that. It's all in the past now. We're just barreling forward towards Election Day. We're less than 100 days away now. And I'm looking forward to November the 5th, which happens to be the day after my birthday. So I'm sure there will be a birthday weekend video when the time comes. Yes, I'm drinking water today. I usually have a trusty Coca-Cola, but I had a soft drink earlier with my sandwich that I had for lunch, I guess you want to call it. So I figured I needed to flush my system a little bit. All right, so those are my whips, and let me put all that stuff back in the box. Hold on. All right, sorry about that. What you doing, buddy? My dog's down here. What you doing, bud? What you sniffing? Huh? Are you smelling something? You smelling good? Something good? Huh? my dog is. So my wife's away at her scrapbook retreat this weekend, so it's just me and the puppy. My puppy, I call him puppy. He's 5.5. All right, we're gonna move right on to haul, which actually I hadn't really planned on having much, but things that I had ordered a long time ago finally showed up, and other unexpected things popped up, and it turned into a small pile this time compared to last time. All right. So let's see, what do we have first? Okay, so this is something that I kind of got it on a dare. not really so much a dare, like I dare you to do this, but so a fellow Floss tuber and fellow and a good a good friend of mine, I feel. We met at so I belong to a cross-stitch group in Maryland called Cross Stitchers of Maryland, and they have different groups that meet in different areas of the state, from the Eastern Shore all the way to Western Maryland. So the group that I'm in, we meet in the 2 different towns in Harford County in the state of Maryland. One is in Aberdeen and the other in Bel Air. And so there's a wonderful YouTuber and fellow cross-stitcher and just all around wonderful girl. Her name is Hannah Dowling, if you know who that is. She is a mega star as far as I'm concerned, cross-stitcher. She does so much. She's so prolific. She's got the energy of I don't know what, but she's just there's no off switch for her. She's such a wonderful, beautiful girl, and I love her to death, like I would love my own daughter if I had a daughter. So anyway, she's the queen of full coverage. And she actually works with Grace Notes Fabrics and helps put on their retreats. So she'll be leaving to go there on Monday, even though the retreat doesn't start until Thursday this coming week. And so anyway, the last time I saw her a week ago, I think it was, a week or 2 ago, and she was working on something full coverage, and she's like, when are you going to start a full coverage? And I was just like, well, I only own one. I said, but I kind of made the mistake of buying the max color version of what I bought, and I said, but if you really want me to start one, I said, there's a design that I remember seeing that I would love to do. So it was kind of like an unofficial dare, it's just kind of like, well, when are you gonna do one? So I don't know when I'm actually gonna start this, but I did go online and I found the pattern. I think it's a discontinued pattern because I couldn't find it on the actual Heaven and Earth Designs website. But I did find it elsewhere. I got it off of Everything Cross Stitch website, and it's called Waterfall Dragons, and the original artwork is by Matt Stewart, who is a phenomenal artist. If you're not familiar with his work, you should go online and check it out, because his stuff is amazing. But the first time I ever saw this, I was just like, wow, that's really cool. It's just gorgeous, but to stitch it is going to be, this will be my, lifelong project. I doubt I will even ever finish it, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So I don't know what more I can say about it. That is just beautiful. But it's kind of reminds me a little bit of that movie Avatar, minus the blue skin people. So anyway, that was one piece of haul that I got. And then I did place one order with 123 Stitch. I needed some things for retreat, because otherwise I wouldn't have ordered, but I needed to get some things for that, and so I was like, well, if I'm going to place an order, I may as well order a few more things. So what did I get? All right, well, as always, I always order at least one Bella Filipina, because I'm building my collection. I'm trying to collect them all. So this is pattern number 7 in their catalog, called Aquamarina. It's a mermaid. Sorry about the reflection. Got that. And I got number 6 in the Fabulous House series from Cottage Garden Samplings, the tree house. That's cool. That'll be fun to do. Then, so then I picked up something that I had seen a fellow floss tuber, Samantha, the Huga Stitcher, had something she's working on that I saw, and it appeals to the aesthetic that I like, which is like kind of like the Amish, lifestyle style, and there's quilts involved and whatnot. So it's a design from a company called Told in a Garden, which is yet another imprint. What's the matter, buddy? You stretching? Huh? Hi. Sorry about that. My dog is like wanting attention. So yet another imprint from Marilyn Levitt Emblem. He's licking my knee. Come on now. Yeah, so another imprint of hers. So this is called Farmer's Market. So it's a simple design, but like I said, it appeals to me. I have some other things that I own that are in that vein. And then much like the Bella Filipina, I always order one Mirabilia that I don't have, and this time I picked up the Day Nymph, which the next time I order, I'm going to get the Night Nymph. It's on my wish list. I picked up something that I thought was really cool. I think it'll be fun to stitch, is from the drawn thread. It's called the Autumn Garden. And of course they have a spring one and a summer one and a winter one. And, you know, they know how to get us. You know, oh, if you get one, you got to get them all, right? Well, that's the plan. And then I, as always, as well, like the others, I will also pick up a Joan Elliott because there are a ton of them. You know, like people say, you know, buying patterns is another hobby. So it is, as my hobby is, and I have collectorism in my blood because, you know, I'm a big comic book nerd, so I collect comic books. Not for value necessarily. I like to read them, you know, but you know, it's a completist, you know. You got it, you know. Like, I guess like Pokemon, you got to get them all, right? Not that I know anything about Pokemon. So anyway, it's a Joan Elliott design. This is called Woodland Goddess. Very pretty. All right, so there's those. And then, so locally, up in Pennsylvania, there's a company called Crossstitch Boutique that I've ordered from in the past online. Now, I'm not sure what their motivation is, but they said they were moving to a larger space, whatever that means. So I don't know if that means business is good, or they have plans for expansion, or, you know, on what they make available on their website. But a lot of what they have had in the past, at least, is a lot of European stuff. So anyway, they were having a moving sale on their online. Sorry, I'm getting a little thirsty. But so they had a big moving sale, and they had like 50% off everything. So it's just like, well, I had a couple of things on my wish list, so I may as well get them at half price. So I ordered them, and then kind of forgot about them, and because they didn't show up, like, you know, within a reasonable amount of time. I was thinking, why are they taking so long to come? So I'm gonna attribute it. I mean, I got them. Don't think there's anything weird going on. I think probably because they were trying to lighten their inventory so they would have less to move. I'm guessing that's the case. But the stuff was taking forever to get here, and then, like I said, I kind of forgot about it. So anyway, so I had ordered 2 kits. They were both from the Magic Needle. One is called Wind of Luck, which I think the picture on the packaging doesn't come across very well. It looks weird, almost like it's like 3D or something. So I have a love for old sailing ships and that kind of thing. Just harkens back to a interesting time to me. I'm not really sure. I mean, you know, it was a very dangerous time. Don't get me wrong. They had pirates, and, you know, they didn't have GPS, so half the time they weren't even sure where they were going. But anyway, so that was a little pricey for a kit, and I was like, that's why it was on my wish list. Not that I wouldn't have paid full price for it eventually. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. It's okay. So, oh, you gonna shake paws? Oh, you gonna shake? He's wanting attention. He misses his mommy. All right, buddy. Come on, I gotta finish this video. Come on. No, you come on. Go lay down, buddy. Come on. Go lay down. Go. Lay down. But yeah, so that was one. I would have paid full price for it, but but I lucked out. So, and then as you may or may not know, if you watched enough of my videos, that not that I've stitched too many of them, but I am a peacock nut. So if there's a peacock kit that I find, I'll buy it. So they had one that I was interested in, but again, it was like, it was not expensive really. But I had it on my wish list, and I was just like, well, another thing for half price, why the hell not? So anyway, this is called, it's called As Large as Life. I'm not really sure why, but it's a peacock, so it's, so, just another in my collection. All right, so the only other haul new thing that I have is was an unexpected thing. So every year I get the latest Crossstitch Christmas hardcover book from Craftways. They're the ones that do the cross-stitch calendar that I get every year from them, which I showed a couple of months ago, I think, in my video. So this showed up at sometime in the past month, and I haven't had a chance to really look through it yet, but the cover looks really nice, and it comes with a little extra. There's like a little pamphlet with some cute little cross-stitch things in it for Christmas. So put that in my Christmas box. And then this is the cover. Isn't that pretty? That's so pretty. I might actually have to do that. That's one thing I don't have going right now. I don't have a Christmas or a Halloween one, which is, blows my mind that I don't have, considering I'm a big fan of both. But that's something that I may work on setting up for the coming months, since we're about to enter the, we're in the last bit of the second third of the year. So then after August, it's all about football, Halloween, and Christmas. So yeah, that's probably some plans I'll have to be making in the coming months. All right, so that's my haul. Okay, so as many of you who watch Floss tubers on YouTube, a lot of people talk about something called Stitchy Kindness. And I always thought, well, I wonder if that will ever happen to myself. But I didn't dwell on it. I was like, it happens, it happens. Well, it did, finally. So one of my subscribers, and his name is Raymond, reached out to me and asked me, since I am the self-proclaimed Mr. 14 count, that if he could send me some fabric that he no longer wanted or needed. I was like, sure, why would I care about that? That'd be delightful. So I gave him my address, and I asked him about him being a guy. I was like, oh, I'd love to see what kind of stuff you work on. And he said he didn't have a public persona for showing off his stitching. He's not on Instagram or anything like that. But he did say something to the effect that he maybe did some stuff for, I don't know, in some kind of official capacity, like his job or something. I'm not really clear. I didn't really pursue what he mentioned in some of our email exchanges, but I'm interested in seeing it. I mean, that'd be cool to see what he actually works on. So maybe someday, maybe after he sees this video, he'll share some stuff with me. But at any rate, so Raymond sent me a decent sized box full of cross-stitch fabric. I'm going to show you some of it. So he sent me not one, but two project bags full of cross-stitch fabric. One bag is all 14 count, and the other is all 16 count, which I'll use both. I mean, they're both Adas, so what do I care? So and let me just open one of these. Let's see. I mean, there are some just plain white generic pieces, but there are some hand dyes in here, like say, so for example, and it's from companies I've never heard of. So this is from a company called To Die For, DYE Fabrics, To Die For Fabrics. So this is from the 16 count bag. So that's Raven. It's called Raven, and it's a 18 by 21 piece. But I mean, this is from the same company. This is a big piece. This is a 21 by 36. And it's called Marsh Fern. It's a nice color green. It's called Marsh Fern, and that's what it comes across as, is a fern color. But I mean, it's there's those, and there's some that I'm losing my stuff here. I have to figure it out later. But there are some other ones, like this is so this is a hand-dyed 16 count Ada, a 17 by 19 piece called Kingfisher, from a company called Garibaldi's Needleworks. Never heard of them. I'm not sure what part of the country Raymond's from, but I'm guessing these are probably like local hand dyers, smaller companies that are local to wherever it is he's from. I don't want to say it's like Arizona for some reason. Maybe I remember seeing that on the box emailed. But I mean, I got a bunch of those. I mean, here's another one from the same company. The same company. They're pretty blue. Nice, deep, dark, not really dark, but a nice, deep, rich blue. And know, there's a kind of a sagey grayish color. You know, and there's even some gridded fabric from Picture This Plus. I don't know. I mean, I'm sorry. Maybe that's from 123. But I mean, there's gridded fabric. There's hand dyes. There's just regular plain pieces. And I mean, there's a lot of money involved in some of this stuff. I mean, if you were to put a price tag on all of these things, I mean, and 2 bags worth, I mean, we're talking hundreds of dollars. That's just crazy. So, yeah, that to me, that's amazing. I'm going to be set for. Most of them are smaller pieces, so don't get me wrong, I won't be doing any giant things with those, but for any smaller projects, I am like set for a good while for, either 14 or 16 count. I mean, it's just amazing. So Raymond, I thank you, and I hope you see this, and if there's anything I can do for you, if I can send you something for being so kind, let me know. Drop me an email, and but I'd really love to see some of the work you do. I'd love to, send me some pictures of some stuff that you've done, and I'd gladly share them with my subscribers. So that'd be awesome. All right. So thank you. So that's my first and most awesome Stitchy Kindness moment, and it's great to see that people in our community, we kind of have that mentality. It's just like you want to be a part of something, and everybody kind of is in it together. So it's a great feeling. Okay, so now the super exciting portion of my show today. So retreat news. Okay. Real quick, just one thing I want to touch on. So Queen City Stitchers had their big announcement for their 2025 retreats. Back on July 1st, they had opened up their your ability to try and get into the 2025 debut of their Chatelaine retreat in July of 2025. So I believe that's come and gone as far as like them opening up, and then they filled it already, I believe. and then their other big announcement was for their fall, so the Chatelaine retreats for July of 2025, the fall October retreat in Charlotte, both of them are in Charlotte, North Carolina, will be the one and only Nora Corbett will be returning in 2025. So this year's retreat is the designer of focus is Autumn Lane Stitchery, and then next year Nora Corbett will be returning. She was their debut guest of honor in 2023. So I am hoping to go to that one. I want to meet Nora Corbett. I want to be part of that experience. So the They're going to open up registration for that January 1 of 2025. So that's going to give me time to start saving money for that, which will start after my next retreat, which is the only one I currently go to on a regular basis. And that's the one that starts this coming Thursday, the 2024 Grace Notes Fabrics Retreat in Allentown, Pennsylvania. This is their second time doing this, second year in a row, and it was such a fabulous time that I went to last year. So the fellow Floss tuber that I mentioned earlier, Hannah Dowling, I knew her from my stitching group, and she's the one that turned me on to the retreat. And it was an amazing time, and it was since it was their first retreat, you know, it was kind of a learning experience, and I think they pulled it off. It went well. It was very fun. I met a lot of super nice people. And in fact, that's kind of what made me decide to become a Floss Tube presenter. So, I mean, this is my 10th video already. So, you know, I have a anniversary coming in a couple months. So that'll be, I'll have to make some special plans for that as well. I'm going to run out of water here in a minute. So anyway, I'm going to be taking, you know, a lot of the whips that I just showed you earlier with me. I plan on, I probably will end up maybe, well, I don't really know how many new projects I might start while I'm there. There is a Christmas stitch along which I bought into this year. I didn't know about it last year, but I did buy the pattern, but I never did anything with it. And I'm not sure what other projects that I may take with me to maybe start. Who knows? But I'm looking forward to it. I think they've increased the size of it, so and they changed venues. It's still in the same town, Allentown, PA, but it's at a different hotel this year. And I think they've added, probably, I think from what Hannah said in her most recent video, they expanded it to maybe as many as 150 total attendees. Last year, I think it was only like 80 or 90, maybe 100 at the most. So we'll see, but I met a lot of nice people, and I'm hoping to meet a lot more nice people. Everybody was just fabulous. I'm looking forward to seeing the friends that I made last year, and Allie Z, who is another Floss tuber friend of mine, and Dana, and I think Tiffany said she can't make it this year. And then Trudy and Cindy, their mother and daughter team that was sitting at our table. I think they'll be returning. So it'll be great to see everyone again, and all the people working with the Simpson family running the event, Hannah and some other people. It should be a blast. It's going to go so quick because I'll be having so much fun, but you know, I'm excited. I can't wait to go. And this year, since they changed venues, the new hotel is pet friendly. So I couldn't have my dog with me last year. So this time around, my wife and I will be there, and we'll have the dog with us. So it'll be even though they're not attending the retreat, they're gonna hang around at times at the hotel, and they'll go out and do kind of like little daily, treks around, southern PA, and go get into stuff, whatever they feel like doing, and I'm sure they'll come and visit me every once in a while. So yeah, so my next couple of videos, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna have some coverage that I'm gonna end up posting. I don't know if that'll be in my next video, regular video, or I'm gonna have a special retreat video, but we'll see what happens. But I'll have some coverage of the retreat, and you'll get to see a bunch of stuff, hopefully. I gotta figure out how to edit videos so I can do things better. Alright, so that's about it for retreats, as far as what I'm interested in. Okay, so for the month of August, we're going to roll a die again to see which random project I'm going to add into the mix of my other regular whips that I've been working on for the month of August. So I got my trusty 6-sided die. I got 6 choices. The one from last month, the Palestinian tiles. I've got the quilt block tiles, number 2 in a series. My unicorn mandala, the Stegosaurus that I'm nearing completion on, the Key to My Heart one that you saw earlier, or the choice of a new start. So let's see what we roll. Wow, okay, I did not expect that. Alright, so I rolled the Palestinian tiles again, so apparently somebody really wants me to keep working on that, so that's what I'm going to do. I rolled a 1. So, well, that makes it easy for me. I don't have to dig for another whip out of my older whip box. Okay, so now the next thing that I have that I wanted to cover, and I had mentioned this briefly a while back. I'm not sure how many videos ago it was, but a while back when I think it was probably like May or June, I had mentioned for the month of September, I had wanted to do a new start in honor of my mother, who's been gone for just over 5. It was 5 years back on June the 5th is when she passed away, and I miss her dearly. She had a love for books and crafting, whether that was cross stitch. She was an avid crocheter. She could whip out an Afghan faster than anybody I ever saw. She would do paint by numbers. She did coloring. She did all kinds of fun stuff. Once she was retired and didn't have, or she had a lot more extra time to do stuff. But she also had a love for owls, which rubbed off on me a little bit. So to honor her for the month of September, because that's when her birthday was, September 29th, I'm going to do a new start of an owl project. So, sorry, I'm getting thirsty again. So I'm going to do a new start of an owl project. If I can get a hold of them all. Oh, yeah, I can't grab them all. Oh, come on. All right. So I figured what I do is I do a little mini kit / pattern parade owl of possible owl projects that I have, and I have quite a few. So, and then I would love it if you all, my viewing audience, if you would like to give an opinion or vote on which one you think would be the one I should do, you know, that would be great. I would certainly take that into consideration, especially if I'm kind of ambivalent on which one to pick. So I'll show them all, and then you can all, you know, pick the one you like and let me know in the comments, and then maybe if I get enough votes to make it worthwhile, I'll mention it in my next video. Or if not, if I don't get any, you know, worthwhile responses, then I'll just pick one. So let's get started. This first one is a Riolis kit called Magic Owl. So looks like he's carrying a stopwatch and a key. I'm not sure why, but it's pretty. This next one is an RTO kit called Eagle Owl. I just like the look of it. Not very colorful, but you know, it's cool looking. This one is also an RTO kit called The Bringer of Stars. And that's literally what he's carrying. He's carrying a star. Alright, this next one is also a Riolis kit called White Owl. I'm sure plenty of you have probably seen this in the various, like the Stitchery catalog, if you get that in the mail, or maybe even Hirschner's catalog whenever you get that. I really like the snowy owl aspect, although that's a lot of white. This next one is just a pattern. It's not a kit, but it's from Custom Crafts. It's called the Great Horned Owl, and it's a chart based on artwork by Tom Antonishak, something like that. That's really cool. Alright, this next one is it's a Russian company called Pana, and I don't know what it's called because it's all in Russian. It's just I guess it's called White Owl. So that's pretty cool. He's like descending from a tree with the moon behind him. That's pretty cool. But again, that's not much in the way of color. So, alright. And then the last two kits that I have are both Dimensions kits. And this is called Wise Owl. So that's very colorful. A lot of going on that one. And then another snowy owl. This is called Northwind Owl. Again, it's a lot of white. And it's on white fabric. So I don't know how much of that white you have to actually stitch, but we'll see. You can see the colors in there. There's a lot of grayish and white in there. So. Then I got a few more patterns, but these are all. So these are all digital patterns, things that I bought off of Etsy. So we've got. It doesn't have a name, but it's called Owl Number 5. So it's an interesting little headshot there. And then this one is called Owl Number 8. Again, it's just a kind of an interesting, kind of like a sketchy looking thing. But you know, I was a sucker because they had them on sale at one point. This one's very colorful. I think it's one of those. I don't know for sure, but I think it's one of those kind of like CGI created things. But it's pretty. It's called Owl Moon Mosaic. And that's kind of a mini full coverage. There's a lot of stuff going on there. And then last but not least, this one I really love. It doesn't really have a name per se, but it's an owl that's made up of all plant life. It's kind of interesting. And I could have a lot of fun with that one, I think, just with fabric choice alone. You know, I could put it on a green of some kind. I'm not sure, you know, whether it would be, you know, probably a darker mid to dark tone green, maybe. I don't know. Or I could go into like into some kind of brownish, like a light, you know, light brown color of some kind. So, not sure. So now that I've got this retreat coming this coming week, I have plans to buy a butt ton of fabric. Like I need it, but I plan to buying quite a bit. So I may, you know, take a few things with me with the idea of like, I want to match this project up to some fabric, you know, because I have a lot of things that I would like to do maybe, to kit them up, and it's better for me if I see the fabric in person than to try and buy it online. As many of you know, if you've been watching me for a while, Grace Notes Fabrics is my go-to, especially for my 14 counts, because they have a large variety of, color choices, and but they have such an amazing selection of fabrics, and not just Aida, but they do some of the even weave type fabrics. I'm not sure if it's Jovelin or Lugana, and then of course they do linens as well. And like I said, their color choices are just amazing. I can't say enough good things about them, and the people, the family that is behind the company are just amazing, lovely, wonderful people. I love them. They treat everybody so well, and that's part of why I really enjoyed myself at my first retreat with them last year, and I'm looking forward to this one as well. So it just goes to show you, it's like when you have good people, they're going to do good things. So, all right. So those were all of my owl selections. So let me know what you think. I'm gonna want to make a selection sooner than later, because I'll need to, if it's not a kit, then I'm gonna have to buy, the materials for it. So we'll see what happens. All right, so that's it for the cross stitch portion of my video. I only have a few other things, but they're non-stitchy related that I'm going to cover, which like I said in my last video where I talked at length about some video games and books and comics and all that. I have a little bit of that, not as much as last time, but I'm going to talk about that now. So if that doesn't interest you, I thank you all for watching. If this is your first time here, thanks for stopping in. And then if you're a subscriber and returning viewer, I thank you for your continued interest. And I'm hoping I'm making my videos interesting or informative enough that you want to continue to. And word of mouth does a lot. I mean, it's like it seems like at different times, especially after I post a new video, I'll get a nice influx of new subscribers. So, like I said, word of mouth. If you have stitchy friends and you feel like it's worth their time for them to watch my videos, spread the word. Let them know. I appreciate it. Okay, so since last time, my extracurricular activities, as they were, video game wise, hadn't really done a whole lot, but the one thing that I had been playing the last week or so, I've been diving back into Diablo 4. I play on Xbox, but it's a cross-platform thing, so I play with people that are on PlayStation 5 or on PC, so it doesn't really matter. But the current season is just about over. I think it ends this coming Tuesday, and then the next season, I forget what they're calling it at the moment, but that begins this coming Tuesday. And I've had a lot of fun. I have a friend that I play with, Josh. He's he's a madman. Of course, he's laid up from a terrible injury that he had, so he's been playing a lot. He's got multiple level 100 characters, but he's kind of been helping me gain some experience by taking me into higher areas that I can't normally handle on my own. So, he's been doing that. And so my current character is a barbarian, which I didn't think I would enjoy playing, but I've actually come to really enjoy it, and I've got a pretty fun build. I don't know how good it is necessarily compared to other people of the same level, but I think I built something that's pretty fun. I call it the whirlwind build. I mean, it focuses on the whirlwind ability, and a lot of the aspects and tempers and things that I've added to equipment and been able to get equipment with really good abilities attached to them has made it a lot of fun. And I've made it to level 80 or 81, I can't remember, which is the highest to date that I've made it with any of the previous characters that I've created, because I've created a new one each season, and it's been a different class each season. So I started off with a sorcerer, or no, I started off with the druid, then I went to the sorcerer, then I went to the necromancer, then the rogue, I'm bugging here, and then of course the barbarian. I basically played them in the order that I thought I would enjoy from most to least, and I actually kind of went, I liked the druid a lot, and I had a pretty good build with that. And then the sorcerer was at that point in time my second favorite, and then the necromancer, as much as I thought that would be a lot of fun, I really didn't enjoy it that much. It kind of surprised me. And then the rogue I liked more than I thought I would, and then of course the barbarian I've enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. That's why I played it last, because I thought I would enjoy it the least. But anyway, the next big expansion for Diablo comes in beginning of October, I think. I forget what they're calling it, but that'll be the next expansion that you have to purchase. So there will be a big new series to the story, and they're introducing a new class, Spiritborn or something like that. So I think it has a lot to do with animals, maybe. I'm not really sure, but it's a whole new class. So I look forward to that. Nothing else video game wise I've really been interested in at this point. So that'll be my focus, probably, if there's any focus at all on that. Books, I've kind of been reading a mix of things, both science fiction and another class of books. I'm not really sure what the classification would be, but Megan O'Keefe, I think I had shown her books in a previous video. So I started the series of the Devoured Worlds, I think is what it's called. Book 1, The Blighted Stars. I'm about 100 pages in. It's been interesting so far. I really like her kind of ingenious thought processes on the people in the story. They have the ability to, so like, they have a map, like a neural map of their brain. So if they die, they're able to use this neural map to, I guess, grow a new body, a new brain, and then overwrite or put that map on, onto the new brain, so it knows everything and behaves exactly as you were at the time the map was recorded, however they did that. And it's very thought involved idea, and I don't know how people come up with the ideas that they do, but that's one's kind of similar to one I've had. I didn't go into a lot of detail about it, but in the novel I wrote last year, The Children of Prometheus, they had a alien technology that could revitalize or grow a new body for somebody. Like I said, I didn't go into any kind of technical process, but it did happen to the characters in the book. Anyway, so I've been reading that, and then a couple of other books. Kind of, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what the category is, but maybe it's considered new age. I don't know what it's called, but it's about aliens and UFOs and that kind of stuff, which to me there's no end to how interesting that stuff is to me. I'm not sure why it gets in my head that it just makes it so interesting to me. But the one book is called The Dark Fleet, which is by a guy named Len Caston, I think. I was trying to see if I had. Yeah, Len Caston. He's written several books about that kind of stuff, and I mean, most people, if they read it, they'd be like, "Yeah, this is some crazy person," and I get that. I mean, I really do. But it's just like, it's just something like just in my subconscious brain that like makes me want to think that, well, how can you ignore things that are real? I mean, I don't. It kind of goes back to the political stuff that's going on. It's just like, I don't understand how people can like say the exact opposite of reality, and they believe it, because they would have to believe it, because otherwise they're just lying to themselves and to people around them, and that's just crazy. I don't get that. I really don't. It's just like, when you hear something and you know that oh, that sounds plausible, how it's kind of like what are the Sherlock Holmes thing, it's like, however, no matter how crazy something sounds, if it's real, then it's real. Why would you just because it doesn't conform to your desires, I mean, I can't mold reality to my desires, so why would I like deny evidence of something? Well, it's like, well, don't believe your lying eyes. Okay, I saw this, but I'm going to ignore it. it's just crazy to me. Anyway, so that book, The Dark Fleet, that's all about, the kind of like the, it talks about alien races and their influence upon mankind and that kind of thing. Like I said, you can believe it or not. It's up to you. And then another author, I'm not sure how you pronounce this guy's last name, but it's David. I call him Icky, which is kind of funny. That's how I call it, but I think it's Ike is the correct pronunciation. He's got such an interesting history attached to his life. I mean, at one time he was a well-known soccer player in England years ago, and then he became like a newscaster, a sports newscaster for, I don't know if it was radio or television, I'm not sure. And then something happened to him, and his world just kind of exploded. And, stuff that he writes about, now, you want to talk about, some of it sounds like a weird-ass movie. It does. It really does. And I don't know how much of it I really take to heart. I mean, some of it's just really kooky, sounding. But it does make you think. And that's really all I'm interested in is, make me think about stuff. I don't have to believe it, but if it just makes me like give something a second thought, like, I never, he makes a point, and I'll be like, I never really thought about it that way, but now that you brought it up, that's an interesting point. And I think that's kind of like the art of conversation, that, getting together with people with similar interests, all there for the same reason. You have a common interest, and you want to share things about it. It's like the cross stitching that I do. It's just like, when you get a room of 150 people who all love the same thing, it's such a joyful experience. And I have a group of friends that we don't necessarily believe the same things about the stuff that I'm reading about. All the conspiracy theory type mentality stuff. Government cover-ups, and are UFOs real, and that kind of thing. And if they are, why are they here? What are they doing? All that stuff. It's just fantastic to talk about. It doesn't make, I don't think people are crazy necessarily. They can be, but it's just fascinating. I think that's why I like science fiction novels, like, regular science fiction. It's a sense of wonder, beyond, the trappings of our planet. And I mean, seeing the great unknown and experiencing the unexperienced. And I think that's part of why we exist, is just to experience things. I think that's why we're here. So to share that with people, I think that's a good thing. So that's really about all as far as books I've been reading. Comics. I'm trying to think of what I've read here lately. Well, I continued reading Ultimate Black Panther and Ultimate Spider-Man, which are really, really good. I can't get over how good they are. It's just, I mean, granted, the original Ultimate Spider-Man from years ago that, I'm going to forget his name now. Yeah, forgot his name. but that series was really good for different reasons. Um, um, but yeah, I've been reading that, and I read the another book in the Ultimate series called Ultimates, which is like the Avengers of a different reality, and that's been pretty good. I'm getting ready to read a sequel well removed from the original. There was a Batman Elseworld series back in the day called Gotham by Gaslight. So it was kind of like a Victorian era Batman. You know, it was really cool. It was very well done. But they're revisiting it, that same time frame, Batman, but it's being called the Kryptonian Age. So I guess they're going to be introducing a Superman type character, I'm assuming. I haven't started reading it yet, so I don't know, but they're introducing a Superman style character in the Victorian age, so that should be interesting as well. Yeah, I did read the new X-Men book, #1, X-Men #1. Visually, it was okay. I like Ryan Stegman. I liked him on Superior Spider-Man, which was an amazing series. Oh, that was the other thing I read. I read the most current. It was a 8-issue series where they revisited Superior Spider-Man, and it was the same people. It was Dan Slott wrote it, and then Ryan Stegman didn't do the art in this one, I don't think. No, it was somebody else, but he did the original. But anyway, the X-Men book, I'm lost. I mean, there were a couple familiar characters, like the Beast in his blue fur form was recognizable, and then Scott Summers, Cyclops, he was in it, but God, they made him look like a teenager. I mean, it looked weird. And then I think Psylocke was there. She was more or less the same. And then everything else was different. Characters I'd never heard of, people I didn't know, and apparently Magneto is now some guy named Max. I don't even know what that means. So I haven't read an X-Men book in since the introduction of Onslaught back in 20 some years ago, whenever that was. I don't even remember now. Maybe even longer. So I don't know if I'll continue with that one or not. I was willing to give it a shot, but I think there's too much history involved. They're talking about major events that I have no recollection of because they're too recent. So I literally would have to read several boxes worth of X-Men books to understand what they're referring to. So I probably won't continue with that. But yeah, it saddened me that they only did 8 issues of the most recent Superior Spider-Man, because I was really enjoying that. It was just well done. Dan Slott is, I think he's a highly underrated comic writer. I really do. He's really good. All the stuff that he's done has been wonderful. And that's just my opinion. You might not care about anything that he did. So yeah, so that's what I've been reading here lately. I don't know what else I'll get into, but I'll be going to the comic shop this Wednesday before I leave for my retreat, and then I'll be back. So September 1st is a Sunday, so that's probably when my next video will be. So we're about a minute. We're an hour and 45 minutes into this video, so that's plenty long enough. I've rambled on long enough, but I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you stuck around for the extra stuff, I thank you for that. And until next time, I salute you, Captain Crossstitch, and have a great August. Yeah, August, and I'll see you in a month. Take care and keep on stitching. Bye for now.